Hello, everyone, and welcome to Clay Loves Logic, where on this channel I solve logic-based Sudokus I find interesting. And today, strap in. We're going to do what I think will be the hardest puzzle I've done on this channel so far, just from looking at the rules briefly. We're going to be doing our first deconstructed puzzle. The puzzle is called Fog Deconstructed. It's by James Sinclair. Let's get into the rules. Fill the grid with 9 non-overlapping 3x3 square regions. So you can see here, this puzzle is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This puzzle is 11 by 11. So it's going to be up to us to decide how to construct our own Sudoku. You know, those could be different 3x3s. These could be 3x3s. Something like that. Doesn't matter. We're going to be the makers of the puzzle today. Now, let's assume these were the 9x9 grids. I have no idea if they will be, but let's just look at them and say that they were. What that would mean is in this row, we'd have to have the digits 1 to 9, and they couldn't repeat. In this row, we'd have to have, or in this column, we'd have to have 6 unique digits. We'd have to have all 9 unique digits here, etc. Correctly entered digits clear the fog around them. We're familiar with fog of war at this point. Cells outside regions do not contain digits. Okay. Cages show the number of their digits in the leftmost cell of the highest row reached by the cage, and digits cannot repeat within a cage. Okay. The cells with a shaded square must contain an even digit. Cells with a shaded circle, the tongue twister, must contain an odd digit. Those are the rules. That's the puzzle. I'm going to reset the timer, and we're going to start. And I can tell you right away we're going to get a digit. Because even though there's only 3 things to see in this puzzle, one of them is very powerful, and it is this 2. Because you cannot repeat digits in a cage, so you could never have 1, 1 to make 2. And we know that cells outside of regions do not contain digits. So this is at least a 3-cell cage. But we can only have 1 cell that contains a digit in it. So if this was the cell that contained a digit, you know, the puzzle would have to go down here, and that would already take out way too many options for things to be cells of the puzzle. You know, if none of these can be part of the 2x2 or part of one of the 9 boxes, I don't think we can even make enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can't. This has to be the 2, which is going to give us 2 zeros. I'm just going to use a 0 to notate that, you know, this can't contain a digit. And therefore it's not part of a 9x9. And because this 2 is here and it's, you know, bookended by 2 cells that can contain digits, we get our first region, and it's going to be this. And what else I can tell you is that, sorry, my puppy is trying to get comfy. Okay, so we have, I want to look at this. We have an 8-cell cage, or an 8-value cage of 3 digits that all contain, that all have values that count because it's all in one contained 9x9. This is an even digit, so it has to be a 4. This is a 3-1 pair. Then we look at an 11 cage, and the 11 cage has an even digit as well. So we have 2 even digits left, 6 and 8. If it's an 8, it pairs with a 3. We already have a 3 in here. So this is a 6. This is a 5. Now we know we need 7, 8, and 9. We have to make a 15 cage, and we know it doesn't extend into here for the same reason that I will demonstrate. Basically, you could never make a 9x9 or a 3x3 now because we know this cell can't contain a digit. So if this cell can't contain a digit, neither do these. And if this cell can't contain a digit, you know, neither do these. So this has to be from 7, 8. And if the circles contain odd digits, this is a 7, this is an 8, and this is a 9. Okay, so now where do we go from here? Well, it's going to be something to do with this 1 cage, right? Because when we look at this 1 cage, only one of the digits can contain a value. And it's not this one, because we've proven that it can't be. And it's actually not this one, Because look, this cage has to go somewhere and it can't go up or down. So this cage has to go out. This cage has to go to at least this spot. And from there, it either goes, up, out, or down. But it's going to have a 1 on it, and it's only going to have one cell with a value. So it could do this and go there. And, the 1-3 pair means it's not neither of these. So this could be the 1. But then we're meant to look at this 2 cage, right? Because the 2 cage has to get out. Well, if this is a 2, then this 1 cage is part of the 3x3. But there can only be 1 digit in the 1 cage that has a value. So this has to be a 0, because if this was a 2, this would be a 0, this would be a 1, but we need to make a valid 3x3. So this has to all now extend 1 farther. So the same logic means this can't be, this just cannot be a 2. Because again, 2, 1, we can't have a 1 here because of the 1-3 cage. So this is a 0. Well, it might not be a 0. It could be a 2. But what we know is this is not, in fact, a 0. Or, sorry, this is a 0. So this could be a 2, and this could be a 1. And now, in fact, we know that this is not the 1 because we can't have a 2 above it. Yeah. And I'm inclined to say that that is the correct solution, because can this go 1 farther? If this was a 0, this would have to be the 2. But look, we can actually see this cell, and we can see that there's no page in it. So this is the 1, and it's part of a 3x3 that, well, this is the 2. You can see this is the complete movement here, right? So this is a 2, and this is what the cage does. So now I think that we can just draw our next region, because we're sort of, we're in this world. So we have a corner of it, and we have 2 digits. So there's no world where this 3x3 doesn't just do this. That's all it can do. And that's actually going to give us another digit, because we need to make a 7 cage where the digits count. Both of them count because they're both in a 3x3. And this can't be a 4. We can't make it 1, 6. We can't make it 2, 5. So that's a 3. That's a 4. And now where do we go? Well, by simple, zeroage, we know that those aren't part of it. These are both zeros. These don't have values. They can't be part of a 3x3. And now neither can these, can they? Because we know for certain that neither of these have values in them. We've proven that they can't because of this 2 cage. So these are both 0. So now we're left thinking, this 9-cell cage, or 9-value cage, it can't have three digits in it. One of them can't count. One of them can't count because we can't use 2, 3, 4. All those digits are spoken for here. So what are our options for this cell? Because we know no matter what, this one counts. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just be anything above 5. If it's 9, then neither of these count. Maybe that's possible. I don't know yet. If it's 8, it could only count if this one didn't. It could be 8, 1. It could be 7, 2. It could be 6, 3. It could be 5, 4. Or it could be just 9. Those are the only options. So now we have to start thinking about what cells can or can't be in this 9x9. And I'm just going to color in some boxes. So somewhere here, whether it's up here or whether it's here, one of these, there has to be a 9x9 here, or a 3x3 somewhere here. Now, that would be 3 of them. Now, the fact that we know that 1 or potentially 2 of these count, but definitely not 3. We know that all 3 cannot count, so one of these is not in. If it's this one, this could be a cage, or a 3x3, and this could be a 3x3. 2, 3, 4. That would give us 5. There could be a 6th, a 7th, and an 8th. And that is just not going to work. There's nowhere else that we can fit a 9. So what I want to say is that it's going to look like something like that, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now there's loads of ways. But I think that means that, this one has to be the 0 because we need the extra space. I don't know if this blue cage is going to live in this world like this, or if it's going to live in this world like this. But what we can see is we need to have this cell not mean anything. And then that's actually going to do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to get rid of the blue because look, this cell is just going to have a value of 0. I think there's just no way that it can have a value. And if that's the case, well, and maybe a better question to ask, I'm pretty sure this is right, but maybe a better question to ask is, how do we solve this 18 cage? This 18 cage is at least 4. And these two count for sure, and they're higher than 4. So, oh, that's actually really interesting. So what I want to say is it has to be, well, for starters, it has to be more than 2 digits, right? Because you can't double 9. So at least one of these digits is in. If this is the digit that's in, then all of a sudden, maybe that's where we should have looked. Can that even work now? Now that we know that one of these has to be in. I think this is the same problem we were having earlier. How does that work? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That doesn't work either, does it? So what I want to illuminate now is this 3 by 3 has to exist here. It just does, because this has to be the 3rd digit of the 18 cage that has a value in it. If it's this one, this is too low for a 3 by 3. So I'm actually gonna just box that. I'm just sure that has to be correct. And then I don't know if the 18 cage is more. It certainly could be. There's no digits here that are higher. So this would have to be 5, 6. If this was as small as possible, it's 6, 5, and that gives us 11, and that puts a 7 here, which is fine. And now what are we saying? What are we saying? Well, let's go back to our thought here where this digit doesn't have a value in it, and this 9 cage is now these 2 digits because it just has to be. Can't be a 9 or 8 or a 7. This is either 5, 6 or it's 3, 4. And this is now, I want to say this is now, its own cage, right? Because we know this is the corner and this doesn't have a value in it. And then this 4 cage, this actually doesn't have a value in it. Or maybe it does, sorry. There's a world where this is 4 and this is 1, 3. Or this is 3 and this is 4. Yeah, sorry. This could, it could live like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over here somewhere, 7, 8, 9. That's all fine. Yeah, that's all fine. But now we know that we have a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple because we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already, and we can see that these are the rest of the digits, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I think that's going to help us out to ask the question of how do you make a 19 cage, knowing that this digit can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. This digit is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So presumably we can only have 3 digits to get us to 18 now. And presumably we need to minimize that, don't we? And we do, it's 5, 6, 7, and that's gonna give us a digit. None of these are 8, 9. These are now only 8, 9, and if we're correct in all of our assumptions and all of our thinking, which I think we are, we get a 5. Holy, wow, that feels good. So the 6 should do the same, and the 3 should do the same. This is awesome. Wow. Wow, what a good puzzle. Oh, and this 6 now clears up the 7, which clears the 6. Wow, this puzzle's beautiful. And now what do we have here? We have an 8, 9 pair. Wow. And now we know this is going to be from 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be from 4, 5, and 7. And then this is just going to be from 1, 2, and 3. Wow, what a puzzle. Okay, well, there you go. Look, this is a 9 cage. Could this be 8 and 1? No, because this is a 0. This can't have a value in it, which means neither of these can have a value in it, which disambiguates the whoops. Oh crap. Oh, that's so silly. Sorry, guys. That was the wrong assumption. What is correct is saying that this is 0. That's correct. Yeah, but this cage extends. I should have seen that. This cage extends. This cage could go down here. This could be 8 and 1. So now we're asked, yeah, and look, here's how I can see that. That's so stupid. Look, how do you make a 4? Well, you can't use 2, 2. You can't use 3, 1. So only one of these digits has something in it. And that means that this doesn't have anything in it. And that means this is a 4. Yeah, crap. That's obvious. And the way I can see that is you can't repeat digits. So you can't have a 3 and a 1 here. You couldn't have a 4 here because then this would not have a value. So you can see, of course, that this is a cage, and that solves this because this has to have a value in it because it's part of this 3 by 3. So it's a 1, and this is an 8, and that's a 9. And I see that now, and I've proved it, so that's okay. A little mistake, but we're trucking along. We now have an even digit. It's no, an odd digit. An odd digit here that's not 1. So we have, and it's not 9. So we have 3, 5, 6. We have a 9 cage that, I mean, I suppose presumably could be 2, 3, 4, and this could be the next one. I don't know yet. But what I do know is all of these are now zeros, and this is a 5. Because look, sure it goes down here, and maybe it goes down farther. Oh yeah, could it? Okay, so now my thought is, look, I don't want to make assumptions anymore. What if this 5 cage extends all the way down here, and it's a 2, and this is a 3, and then this is a 3 by 3? Does this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? That's actually narrowly possible. If that's possible, this is a 9 in 2. So maybe let's draw our attention to this 10 cage that we can actually see all of. And what can I say about it? It's not 7, 3, and I think that's about all I can say about it right now. It's about all I can say about it. What can we say about this? We know that a 2 doesn't go anywhere else down this row because of this 2. And we know that this cell, look, because this is a 2 cage, right? So we need a 2 somewhere down here. So this is a 2, or this is a 2, or, this is a 2. I don't think that could be a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it couldn't. It couldn't actually. So the farthest down we could have a 2 is in one of these 2 positions. Because then we could still narrowly fit in all the cages, all the 3 by 3s we need. Okay. Boy, I'd like to reveal that because I sure would like to know what value this cage has to sum up to. That's okay though. Well, okay, so the next question is, yeah, this 9 cage, what have we said? We know it can't be 1 8. I guess it could, yeah, right, because this could be 2 3, and then this could be 4. I mean, it could be 6 3. We do need to put a 6 somewhere in here. And we need to put a 3 somewhere. And in fact, the 3 is only in one of 4 positions. What else? Can't put a 1 in here. And we can't put a 1 in here. That's actually a little bit, this tiniest little sliver of interesting. But like not very interesting. Oh, do we have a naked single in this box? That's where we're going to look. Of course we do. Where do you put a 9? You can't put a 9 down here. You can't put a 9 in a 9 cage, no matter what the configuration is. So, and there's at least 2 digits here. There's at least 2 digits in some 9. This is a 9. Okay, great. And now we can see that this 9 cage is going to have a shaded circle contains a pawn digit. So this is from 3 5 7, and its pair makes 9. So it's not a 5 because 5 plus 4 is 7. So 3 plus 6 is 7, and 7 plus 2 is 9. So that's what it looks like. And again, I want to say there's still a world where this is 3 and 2. So I'm not going to make any silly mistakes like I made earlier. But what else do we know? We know we need 8 somewhere in this cage. Oh, okay. Well, look, 8 can't be in a 5 cage at least. 8's only in one of 2 places. Maybe that's a good thing to think about. Because now, yeah, that's a great thing to think of. Where do you put a 6? Where do you put a 6 in this one? The highest this could be is a 5. There's a world where it's smaller, but there's no world where it's higher. Do you put a 6? I guess you can put a 6 over here. Yeah, crap. Never mind. Yeah, you can put a 6 over there, but you can't put it there at least. So what digits do we have lower than 5? 5 or lower. This could be a 5. It couldn't be a 4. It could be a 3. It could be a 2. It could not be a 1. If this is a oh, look at that. Look at that. This is a different cage. This is a different cage. That's what that 9's telling us. That's not that. Look, this is a cage here. This cage, the cages don't overlap. It said that. Digits cannot repeat within a cage. Cages don't. Yeah, cages just don't overlap. So the fact that this 9 extends, this way means because originally I was saying, well, maybe there's a world where this cell here is part of this 5 cage, but now we know it's not, which means this is only ever a 5, and that is going to clear up these abilities to be 5. So we have a 3 7 pair, and I guess we have. I want to say that this is a 6 8 pair, but this could be a 6, which means we have to include the possibility that we could have a 2 over here. Right, this could be 6 3 7 2 8. All we know for sure is that one of these is in fact an 8. But that's all we know. Okay, well, we've made some progress on what could and couldn't fit into this this sort of cages. Whatever I'm trying to say. This is interesting because this sums to 5. This sums to 45. So it has all the digits 1 to 9. So that's a monstrously large cage. I'm not really sure where we go from here, actually, to be totally blunt with you. A 2 in this 3 by 3 can't go there. So it could go anywhere here. It's not interesting. Where does 5 go? Maybe that's interesting. 5 can't go in this, at least. This is 2 cell. 5 can't go there. So, yeah, it's still not terribly interesting. Like, 5 could go in any of those places. And also, honestly, like, this could be a 5 if this extends. This could be 5, 3 2 or something like that. I mean, obviously not exactly 5 3 2, but 5 4 1 or something. So you know what? I think instead of zeros, I want to should I make those gray? Is that easier to see that they're not part of anything? Maybe. Or like they look like fog that's not uncovered that way. I don't know if I like that. Maybe a different color. I just want something that sort of says, you know, don't look at me. Maybe it's that. Maybe red. Yeah, because then it doesn't look like fog. I don't know. Let's go with that. Okay. So, okay, so, well, for starters, 1 comes out of this. That's at least something. Now, oh, geez, this has been available for so long. Look, we have a 4 and a 5 here, which see this 4, 5, 7. People have been screaming, I'm certain. So now we have to make 22. This can't be a 7, and neither can this. So we have a 4 or 5 pair. Okay, there's something useful. How do you make 22? You have to have a 7. So now you need to make 15. And you can make 15 without a 9. If you have 7 and 9, you've now summed to 16, and you need to make the remaining 2 digits sum to 6, which is fine, isn't it? Yeah. 9 plus, well, you know, 6 plus 7 is 13, plus 9 is 20. Yeah, okay, so we don't know yet. We don't know yet. I feel like there's still tons of options for these to be all sorts of things. Okay. Damn, I was hoping that would have a little more power to it, but it just doesn't yet. Could this ever be a 5 though, I guess, is the question. If this is, yeah, because 8 and 7 is 15, 5 is 20, this is 20. That's fine. This could be a 5. What's the next question? If this is 3, this is 7 and 2, which is fine. If this is 3, oh, okay, wait a minute. If this is 3, this is 7, this is 2, this is 3, this is 1, this is 2. I think that's fine, yeah. Where do we go from here? I think it's something to do with this 45 cage, because this 45 cage at least counts here. And presumably it counts here. And this 2, wherever this 2 cage is, it's on its own, right? This 2 cage is not a part of this 45 cage. They're unique and separate. So 1, 2, 3, you know, it could maybe go 4, 5, 6. If all of these counted, and you know, 7, 8, 9, yeah, okay. Maybe, I guess now where you put a 7. And I want to say that you have to put it somewhere over here because it can't be a part of this 10 cage. And if it's a part of this 10 cage, it's only if it's 7, 2, and 1, which just never works because of this 1, 2. So 7 is somewhere over here. And again, I don't really feel like that's helpful, but maybe it is. Let's think about what other digits can we say. Well, where do you put a 2 now? You don't put it here, but this could be 2, 8, and any of these could be 2, so that's not helpful. Where do you put a 6? Well, you don't put it here. And I guess you could put it here if this is a 4. So maybe we ask where you can put a 4. It's not in any of those places. It's not in any of those places. So 4 is only in one place, or one of 4 places. So I think we're starting to see a world where, you know, fives have to go somewhere over here. I feel like there's a lot of digits that have to go somewhere over here. In fact, even 8, right? Because if this is, yeah, 8 even has to go somewhere over here. 2, 8 has to live over in this area. So what's left? Six. What could this 10 cage be if it's 2 cells? Even if it's 3 cells, what could this 10 cage be? This can't be 4, 6. It just can't because of this 6. Well, maybe that's where we're supposed to look. Look, this can't be 1, 9. It can't be 2, 8. It can't be 3, 7. It can't be 4, 6. This, in fact, is 3 digits. It is 3 digits. And it extends to this one because it can't go this way. So it's a 3-cell 10 cage that has an awful lot of, or maybe, oh, is that saying that it, look, if this goes down here, how do you do it? 4, 5, 6, 4. Yeah, actually, this 10 cage does this. It just has to. So it's actually 4, 5, 1, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it just 4, 5, 1? It can't go here because we don't have enough low digits. It can't go here. It has to turn this way. And it needs to be 3 cells. And this can't be 1, 2, or 3. So this is a 4. And this is a 5, and this is a 1. This is awesome. This is no longer a 4, 6. Wow, okay, so staring at this for an endless amount of time actually yielded results. This is no longer a 1, 9. And we get 2 more, well, almost 2 more digits. This is not a 1. It's not a 5. It's not a 2. It's not an 8. And it's not a 4. 1, 2, 3. This is just 7, 6, and 9 now. And this is not a 9. Wow. And this, what is this? This goes like this way. Is that the 45 cage? That would be astronomically weird. In fact, it is the 45 cage. Look at that. The 45 cage doesn't extend down this way. I thought for sure it would. This cage, this cage is like, it does that, has to get out, has to go into this cell. It doesn't go into this cell, so it goes out here. And it just has to go down. That is all true, at least. And that means this, look, there's not a world where this isn't this cage. There just isn't. This is such a big cage. It needs to have 9 digits. That has to be where we're meant to look. Because what that would tell us immediately is that this cell has to be a part of this 45 cage. And this 45 cage has to be this cage. And if it is, this could never be 9. And we would get a 9 here. There's just no way, right? Because look, this 2, I don't know whether this is the 2 or this is the 2, but this is a cage that's unique. So if this is a cage that its own, the 45 cage has to at least go here. And for it to not be this cage, it would have to only go here and like live off somewhere in this world. And there'd have to be another astronomically large cage. And maybe that's possible. So I won't remove this for now, but I am almost certain that this is a 9. So I'm gonna stare at this and see if I can't figure out something else now because of the new digits we've gotten. But I am really hard pressed to see a world where that's not the correct deduction to make. So let's keep trudging along for now. And what else do we know? I mean, I think that's a fair deduction to make. Maybe I can see something else. You know, Maybe it is something to do with this, but I just don't see what it is. 4, 5, so we need, you have a 1, we need a 2 somewhere, it's fine anywhere there. This 2, 6, 8 triple's fine. This 2, 8 pair is fine. Oh, you know what? Here's what we do, and here's how we move on. Look, we know that this can't extend farther. It just can't. It just can't. We know we've proven that. You can't get enough. You can't get enough enough 3x3s. So with that respect, and with this 2-8 pair we now have, we know that all the 2s are accounted for in this row. There's at least 2 of them that count. And that means neither of these have the ability to be 2 anymore. This has to be a 6. Thank you. This is a 3. This is a 2. Okay. So now these have lost their ability to be clearly any digits. I can't type. This is a 7. And now we're going to get ourselves a very lovely. I'm going to take that 8 out now. We're going to get ourselves a 2-8 pair. But now I think we have to be pretty close to solving this 22 cage, right? Because now we have 9 of the value. So 22 less 2 is 20, less 7 is 13. So these have to sum to 13. 9 and 48, 9 and 48 and 5 are both valid. Okay, fine. Fine. We trudge on. Well, this counts. Okay, that's where we look. This counts, doesn't it? And it just has to. Oh, this is an 8, sorry. And I was gonna get there, obviously. But what I'm saying is, because if this was an 8, how do you make 11? 1, 2 basically is your only option. But then these would both have to count, and they'd have to be in their own 3x3. And they just can't. And now look, how do you get to 11? You need 9 more value. Can you do it in 3? And I want to say that if you were to do it in 3, it would have to be 2, 3, 4. So you don't do it in 3. So the cage doesn't do this because we already have a 2. So that means this is a 0, doesn't it? Because we need yeah, no matter what, this is a 0. Because if this digit counts, then this digit has to count because this has to be a 3x3. And if this digit counts, so does this digit. And they can't. So, in fact, both of these digits count. And our 9x9 is going to look like that. Oh, I don't want it to be blue. Switch back to black. And our 9x9 looks like that. And then we need to get to the value of 9 without using. It's just 4, 5. That's all it is. This is a 4, 5 pair. And because these two are in a 9x9 or a 3x3, my goodness, doesn't that just mean that the 3x3 is just this always now? And I think it does. I think that's exactly what that means. Oh, we're screwed. No, that's wrong. I don't know how it's wrong yet, but this can't be a 4, 5 pair. Because this is a 4, 5 pair. This is not a 4, 5 pair. Okay, back to the drawing board. Does that just mean this is it can't be 1. Okay. Because if this exists in this 11 cage, then all of these exist. Oh, okay. So the only way this makes sense then is if this is 0 and this is a 7. And then, some nature of this or this is the 3 by. Yeah, that's what it has to be. This is a 7. What? It's not? I'm really surprised by that. I thought for sure that was correct. Crap. Crap. Okay, well, I'm gonna come back to that for a second. We can take 7 out of here. Oh, we can resolve this 2-8. That's where we're supposed to look. 2-8. And look, that does it, right? Because now we know that this is part. Oh no, we don't. That just proved that the cage does this. Oh, this can't be a 2 anymore. Okay, so this is a 2. Okay, that's where we're supposed to look. I'll figure this section out later. It's a foolish mistake, but that's okay. I'm not very good at these chaos construction puzzles yet. Doesn't this just have to be that now, right? Of course it does, because this cell can't count for anything. So neither can this. So let's go back to our, our ignore me colors. Oh yeah, that's what we're doing. We're not doing zeros anymore. And I have no idea about that, so I'm just gonna leave it out. Okay, now we can make the deduction that this is a 9. Because we know this cage does this. And look, this can't be the start and end of a cage. These two cages connect. This can't be both the end of this cage and the start of this cage. It's just not. So this is a 9. It just has to be. Which means this is a 6, 7 pair. And did it illuminate? I don't think there was any fog to clear, so I think that's okay. Okay, where do we go from here? This now is simply a 1, 3 pair, isn't it? And this is 4, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. 4, 6, 7, 8. And that's going to do a few things because this isn't a 6. This is not a 4 or a 7. And this is not an 8. Does that help us? No, but we can start thinking about this 45 cage. Because again, remember, we need all the digits 1 to 9 in this. And in fact, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5, 7, 8, 9, 6. Okay, that's interesting. Look, this is in the cage and it counts. This is in the cage, the 45 cage, and it counts. These two are in the 45 cage and they count. This is in the 45 cage and it counts. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're only allowed 4 more cages in the 45 cage that count. Or 4 more digits in the 45 cage that count. So I'm going to ask you, these two always count. These two always count. And then it's either these two or it's these two, right? Because there's no way to loop in enough digits. We know the extent of this cage now. This cage ends here. It just has to, because we can only allow ourselves to have 4 more digits. You can't get 4 in any way without including these two. So we know the cage ends here. So now the question is, do both of these work? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they do. That is irritating. But we know that these two are both caged. So I'm just going to pick a color for now that just, for me, blue is going to say these have values. Because they have values in them. This digit is actually pretty restricted, isn't it? It cannot be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6, and it can't be a 9, actually. So this digit is only 7 or 8, seemingly out of nowhere. And then the same logic applies here, because, wow, that's going to give us a 6. Look, we know this is in the cage as well, and it's under the same exact pressure. It can't be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, or a 9, because they have to be unique. Wow. So that is just somehow giving us a 6 and a 7. And it's correct, it cleared fog. Huh. Wow. None of these can be 7 anymore. And actually, this is a 4 because it's in the cage. So this is an 8 and this is a 6. Wow. And now we know these digits are going to be from 1, 2, 3, 4. These digits are from 5, 7, and 9. 5, 7, and 9. And this is not a 9 because there's already a 9 in the cage. And actually, there's already a 7 and an 8 in the cage. So this is just a 5. Wow. And now we have a 7, 9 pair here that are valid. So this is an 8 and this is a 7. And I was right. See, that's exactly what it does. This is an unbelievable puzzle. What do we say? Circles contain an odd digit. And, oh, look, this 7 sees this 9, sees this 7, which is going to allow us to say this is only 1, 3, or 5. And let's start to think about what these. I think this 8 cage is going to tell us something. What is it going to tell us? I don't know. If this 8 cage is telling us anything, it's saying, well, actually, that's crazy because this could still be in here. This would be 1, 3, 5. Oh, there you go. It can't be 1, 3, 5 because this has to be one of them. It could be 1, 2, 6 in that order. That's fine. If it's 2, what could it be? Look, okay, I want to spend a little bit more time on this because I thought my logic was fine. I mean, this for certain is 0. This absolutely cannot have a value in this 11 cage because the 11 cage it just has to not have 3 more digits in it, and it can't have 4. I mean, we can only make 9, so it's 2, 3, 4 if this is anything, and it can't be. This is a 0. I'm just saying that this does not have a value. I refuse to accept that this could have a value. Yeah, I refuse. This does not have a value. So then we're left with the problem of, can this have 2 digits in it? And again, it cannot. I'm so hung up on this because everything about this says 4, 5 cage. But we have a 4, 5 here. It's frustrating. Okay, fine. Fine. None of these are 9, which we knew. So is it this 8 cage? If it's an 8 cage, and so basically what I'm thinking is these 2 are always in it. So it's either these 3 like this. Well, maybe that's how we're supposed to do it, right? Because could it be that and this? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this could just be an 8. I guess what digits, if we had that, this would be from 1, 3, 5, 7, 7 in 1 of 2 spots, 8 down here, 9. We would have a 7, 9 pair at least. If this was a 3 by 3, this would be a 7, 9 pair. That's true. I don't know if that helps me. We would certainly have a 2, 4 over here. This would be from 1, 3, 5, 8. 3, 5. This would be from 1, 3, 2, 4. And this would only be 6. So if and maybe that tells us something. If this is a cage, or if this is a 3 by 3, then yeah, we've just proven that this is not a 3 by 3, I think, because if this is a 3 by 3, 4, 5, 8, this is only ever a 6. If this is a 6, this has to be a 2, and then this cell has to not have a value. But this cell has to have a value for this to be a 6. If this is a 6, 2 cells have value, unless it's this. But again, that would need this to be a cage, and this to be a cage, and this to be a cage, which actually 1, 2, 3, 4 is somehow possible. Somehow that is possible. That's frustrating. I'm gonna leave that there for a second, but that is frustrating to me. Well, yeah. So maybe we think about now, we know we need what digits. Let's just try that. Maybe that's the way to do it. We know we need the unique digits 1 to 9, and we can see how far this cage goes, right? So what digits do we still need? Well, we need a 1, a 2, a 3. We have a 4 and a 5. We have a 6. We have a 7, an 8, and a 9. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 of them now. Right, so we can only take 2 more. So we have a 1, 2, 3 triple somewhere. Let's just try to knock some digits out and see where these could live. This couldn't be 1 or 2. And so if this is in the cage, this is a 3, this is a 1, this is then a 2. Or it's 3, 1, 2. And if this is not in the cage, then it's 3, 1, 2, or something to that effect. So I think that's all fine. Well, here's a thought. No matter what we do, there's a way to think about this. Look, no matter what we do, we have 8 digits. And we know the cage at least goes, or the 3x3 grid at least goes into this spot. So that's a 9. And now, if this is a world where that's a cage, this at least couldn't be a 9, and this couldn't be a 7 now. So we would have some, naked singles happening. But again, I'm not convinced that that's going to be the case at all. But let's think about this 8 cage a little bit more now. And it's so tricky when you don't know what digits can be included in it or not. But now I want to think that, if either of these are a 2, if say this was a 6, okay? And then this is a 2. This could be a grid or a 3x3. This could be a 3x3. And this could be a 3x3. And you just can get enough. But if this is a 6 and a 2, yeah, I still don't see an issue with that just yet. Infuriatingly so. I guess, maybe it's just, can this ever be 1? If this is 1, okay, that's a way to think about it in a really weird way. But if this is the 3x3, if it's this exact combination, then this has to be the exact combination that goes with it. And then all 3 of these count. And this digit can't be a 2, a 1, 2, 3, or this digit would have to be 6, and it can't be. That's too high. We can't have 6 and double 1. So in a really, really confusing way that I hope I've enunciated, I think this has to be red. Let me just think about that, because if this is a cage or a 3x3, and we do need a 3x3 somewhere in this area. If it's this, then this doesn't work. If it's this doesn't work actually, for the same reason, because this can't be a 2. If this is a cage as it stands, this is a 6, this is a 2. That doesn't work because there's a 2 here. And if this is a cage and this is a cage, that also doesn't work because all 3 of these work. And that's not a cage. This is not a 3x3 anymore. It can't be. This is not a 3x3 in this composition. I've proven it. Look. I will show you right now. Let's do this. If this is a 3x3, this is only a 6. We've just shown how it just has to be a 6. Which would mean all 3 of these count if it's in that order. Not possible. If it's in this order, this would have to be a 2. Also not possible. And if this is, if it was this, then this is an 8, which is not possible. So I think that's saying this has to be the 3x3. which would make this be the 3x3, and then it would make this be the 3x3. And I think that I think that almost certainly has to be correct. I think that has to be correct. I'm worried though. I'm gonna just color this for now, and I will talk about why I'm worried. I'm worried because of this, right? This same problem I had earlier. We're now in this world we're in. These would all be this color. And oh, you know, well, no, because it maybe because then what is this? We need to make 9. 1, 2, 3. So this has to be higher. This has to be 4, 5, 6. Or it does this. And in fact, maybe it just has to. It actually can't be 4, 5. Right. There's no way where it's 4, 5, and there's no way where it's 7. So I think it only works if this is a high digit that is just, well, it's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3. It's not 6, it's not, what is it? How does this 11 cage resolve? Because again, we know it's not 3 digits. And if it does this, it's the same problem, right? If it does this, then it's 2 digits. Because we can't have a 9 in this row. Okay, you know what? No, because that's not even right. I want to use Sudoku, and I want to be like, well, none of these are 9 because of this. There's no 9s here, 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 or here. And this can't be a 9, so this is a 9. And that makes 11. And that's just possible. Oh my God, it is possible. And I was right earlier. I put a 7 in here thinking 7 plus 2 is 9, and that makes 11 because of the 2. This is just a 9, isn't it? I gotta let my dog out 1 second. I'm gonna come back to this dog. Okay, we're back. And again, I think that this is just 9. Because look, I don't care how you slice it. There's a box here. Maybe it's here. Maybe it, well, it's just not here. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's here. But we need a 9. This is a 9. This is a 9. This is a 9. And look, that does, well, I don't know actually what that does yet, but it does something. Okay, so this is a 9, and that's the end of the 12 cage. So we know that none of these count the 11 cage. The 9 means at least this is a thing. And look, there's an 8 here. Well, I mean, look, it just, we have to have at least one value in this 8. We need to have something that sums to 8. We can't just have one of them, so we have to have both of them, which means we know what this cage does. That's just what it has to do. So 8, now we need a 2-cell 8 cage. And it's not, well, it's not 1, 7, first of all, and it's not 2, 6. So it's only 3, 5. And that's going to give us a 4 and a 5 and a 1 and a 3. Now a 12. A 12 is interesting because, well, we only have 2 digits left, and hopefully they add to 12. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well, we only have 2 digits left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, those don't sum to 12. They sum to 11, which means this is I want to say this is a 1. Yeah, great. And look what that does. That shows us that these two are not in the cage. These are not in a cage, which means this isn't. Well, we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet. No, we do. Of course we do. I could have done that earlier because we knew that these 3 had to be. I still don't know if this is a cage or not. I haven't actually figured out these yet, but I can remove the coloring from this because I know it's fine. So what do we need here? This is a naked single, and it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6 by Sudoku of all things. And this is simply from 2 and 6, 8. With no solvability yet. Okay, now we need to look at what is left in our world. We need to disambiguate these cages. And again, look, what we know is that this is not a cage anymore. And we've proven that, because if this is a cage, it can't be 8. And if it's a cage, this has to be 6, 2. So that's fine. But this is never a cage anymore. Let's take our pencil marks out of here and let's color them. So our last question is, what side of the puzzle is this cage on? And truthfully, I just don't know yet. Let's think about where we can put 6s maybe. See if that doesn't help at all. And it really just doesn't. Well, I suppose that, if this is the cage, we need to put a 1 here. Well, no. This is never the cage, right? Because, I mean, this could be the cage, or this could be the cage. But this is never a digit now. How could it be? Because if this is, and in fact, doesn't that just mean this is the cage? I mean, I guess, yeah, look, because cells with the shaded circle must contain an odd digit. That's, of course, it has to have an odd digit, which means it has to be in a 3 by 3. So that just is the 3 by 3. That's the only option. And that's going to give us a 6. That's going to clear the fog. Give us a 2. Give us a 7. Give us a 9. We're clearing fog. We're solving this puzzle. We're an hour in, and we're having a great time. This is an 8. This is a 2. We're clearing fog. We're right. We're absolutely right here. The last question we're going to have is whether or not the cage does this or it does this. Well, what we know is this is none of them. This is this color. This is this color. How do we solve this? How do we solve this freaking thing? What do we need here? 1, 3, 5. We need a 4 somewhere. This is a 4. 1, 1, 3, 5, 8, right? Because this can't be a 4. This can't be a 4. So this is a 4. What is this digit? 1, 3, 5, or 8 with no restriction? Really? It's any of those things? Find that hard to believe. Somehow it's not. Okay, so oh, well, yeah, duh. Look, this is done now. This cell can't be a thing. Which means none of them are. So this is not a 3. Whoops, sorry. So it's not a 3. So this is a 1, 2, 3 triple, and we can get rid of the colors because we know all our cages, or all our 3 by 3s. Wow, what a puzzle this is. And now we can actually get a little bit closer because we've defined the areas. Well, first of all, we know that none of these are from 1, 2, or 3. Because this 45 cage already has a 1, 2, 3. in it. Or no, sorry. It has to be one of them. But yeah, okay. Anyways, what do we need here? We need 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not in here. This is a 4. We need. There's definitely a 2 up here, which we knew. This is not a 1 anymore. So one of these is a 1. We need. Where does a 6 go? In one of 2 places? Where does a 9 go? A 9's already in here. So 5. Where does a 5 go? In one of 2 places. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. And then just 1 and 3. And these are not 3. And this is not 5, which it couldn't be anyways. Why couldn't this be 5? Well, I mean, I can see why it can't be 5, but why didn't I pencil mark it earlier? I don't know. So 6 is somewhere down here. 5 is somewhere over here. Well, that's going to do something for us because, look, 5s have to be in one of these 2 spots always, which means this is a 5. And then none of these are 5s. And then there's always a 3 here, and there's always a 3 here, which means the 3 is up here. This is a 3. And this is a 3. Oops, sorry. I meant to do 1, 3, 2. And now this is not a 3 anymore. Does this helps us out because this 1 sees a 3, sees a 1, sees a 3. So we have a 1, 8. Oh, actually, we have an 8 and a 1 gives us a 6, gives us a 1, gives us a 5, gives us a 3, gives us a 5. Oh, and then I thought I made a mistake. The last 2 digits to resolve are going to be, from our friend Math. Okay, so 5 and 2 is 7, and 7 is 14. 14 plus 8 is 22 plus 9. Wow. 65 minutes and 52 seconds. And I have done my first chaos deconstruction puzzle. I mean, I'm among 10,306 people that have solved this in the last year. What a puzzle. James Sinclair. I can see why so many people have solved this puzzle. This puzzle is beautiful. If anyone made it this far through the puzzle, I hope you've enjoyed watching it. This will be a test for even my mom. My mom watches all of my videos. But if she made it through this one, Mom, you'll have to comment. Prove to me that you've watched these whole videos. If you make it to this part, comment on the video. So we'll all see whether or not you watched it. Okay, thanks everyone. Catch you on the next one.